Ukemi, take 4.
It honestly is. We've done this so many times.
Well, to be fair, we've only gotten through the whole thing one other time.
Ukemi.
Oh, I had a good line. Maybe I'll try to splice some of the other conversation into this one. It had some good lines. And I'm not going to revisit everything, so...
Right.
Ukemi. This is why we learn it. Right here. You're seeing it. So I can throw yo ass.
Today, for your viewing pleasure, we have the Ukemi stylings of Rob and...
Steve.
For throws. Rob and...
Joe.
For sutemiwaza. Rob and...
Dion.
For Mutadori.
Mm-hmm.
And then Rob and...
Kai. Special appearance. Joe.
For front rolls, front break falls, rolling dive rolls, whatever else.
Break fall rolls.
Yeah.
All front. Not smashing your face into the ground.
The series.
Techniques, yes. Ooh. Oh yeah, I can't react to the video. I keep reacting to like some bad falls or ugly falls or hard throws, and then I make a sound. Whoa. Danger zone. And then when I edit everything, it doesn't line up, and it's like, well, why are you reacting to this nonsense?
You're just standing in kumyush. That's so bad.
Ooh,
that form though.
That is terrible kumyush. Maybe I could get that to line up with me standing in kumyush. That'd be good. But anyway, so yeah, here, you know, it'd been a long time since we've done any throws, but you know,
still masked up due to the virus.
Yeah, you know, just about everyone's vaccinated in the dojo though, so it's you know, it's not nearly as bad, at least like as far as the mood of everyone's in, and you know, we feel pretty confident in our safety in those regards.
Hand sanitizer at the ready.
Temperature checks, but yeah, but you know, vaccines help too. So yeah, we should talk about Ukemi though at this point.
We should. I don't appear in any of these videos, so I feel a little safe to share some of my personal
ultimate
problems
Ukemi.
With Ukemi. No, that's right. We are the supreme masters and knowledgeable of all things. I forgot to say that at the top. How did you guys know this was even a video by us if I did not announce our supremacy?
Yeah.
I feel very safe to talk about how poorly I did / do Ukemi. And some of the hardships I've seen others. For example, my sister. The reason she stopped training.
Oh, really?
Besides being just crazy busy. Rolls.
Yeah, rolls.
Break,
not fun.
falls, broke my sister. Not literally. She's fine. She's good. But she and I were very eager to do everything the right way. And that involved a lot of momentum toward the ground when we probably should have taken it slower.
Yeah.
And the bruising she got on, not the tops, but like just behind the shoulder,
like the shoulder blade area,
really hampered her desire to do more.
Sure. I mean, I know you bruise super easily. Yeah, it's a lot of hard work for sure. It's one of the main things that people don't like doing, and it's exhausting. Yeah. Because you have to get up off the ground. And then get up off the ground, and then get up off the ground.
That is the most tiring part, is the standing.
Yeah.
If we're standing, can we just stay standing? If we're on the ground, let's just stay on the ground, but just to go between the two. Right. At least with a lot of the Ukemi that you and Steve are doing in this first portion, you're getting an assist down. Like riding the slide, but you have to take the stairs back up.
Yeah, the throwing is definitely the least tiring part. Whenever we have a class where it's all throws, usually it's the person getting thrown that gets tired, not the person doing the throwing. God, some of my throws are ugly too. But you know, we're working on different things at different times. Ooh, I punched him on one of them. But yeah, so you know, trying to get used to hitting the ground again, trying to get used to helping someone hit the ground again. You know, we're not working on doing the perfect seonage. I mean, we do the silly like one finger seonages at one point. That's a good drill just for, you know, positioning for the technique and stuff like that.
Well, I also like that because it gives the uke less to deal with. Because,
sure, yeah.
I don't have your hand helping to usher my arm over. I can still make contact with your body and drag my arm across or try to pivot on a foot or...
I like stall out on Steve's hip at one point and he just dumps me off the side. But, you know, it felt good though, just to try and get back into it after we've been doing a lot of weapons training, I feel.
Yeah, a lot of distance stuff. Finally being able to push somebody around again.
Yeah.
Must have felt nice.
Well, we can move on to Sutemi.
I think this is the most scary.
Yeah, I think that might... So, I think it's scary for a couple reasons. Because when you're throwing someone with Sutemi, you're not in control of the throw.
Yes.
So, you have to literally trust that they can handle it, you know? And that's part of the fear. And then also part of the fear is that lack of control is also... And you're not controlling what happens to you.
Oh, definitely.
So, you're throwing yourself to the wind, hoping neither of you get hurt.
Yes.
You know, right?
As a smaller / normal sized individual, many of my sutemiwaza fail quite spectacularly because I won't set them up properly. My uke will be too solid.
Sure.
And they'll be too upright, too stable.
You didn't sacrifice yourself. And then you get sacrificed.
Yes. So it's very much the image of the little sibling who's just punching and clawing and crawling all over their older sibling who's just standing there completely unfazed. And meanwhile, I'm throwing myself to the ground to no effect. That's completely lack of understanding of physics as well as terrible technique on my part. But...
Well, so there's give and take, though. Like all Bujinkan techniques, right? When someone doesn't want you to do it, you have to do it differently.
Yeah.
And we're very used to the other person wanting to reciprocate in some way so nobody gets injured or has to get injured, or we push it to the point where you have to injure the other person to make it work. But, you know, we're trying to learn. So part of that is, you know, some give and take. And even with these, the majority of these I'm doing with Joe, if he didn't, you know, part of the conversation I had with him is if, you know, you didn't want me to do this, how would you stop me? Mm-hmm. And like, okay, good, trying to feel that out. And then it's like, and this is how I could still make it work, but it kind of changes things, right? Because we're not just working on the throwing yourself to be able to take their balance and potentially pull them over. We're getting more into, you know, like more of a combative mindset of I'm doing this. And the goal isn't to learn how to do this. The goal is to get a certain thing. Mm-hmm. What that thing isn't the throw. That thing is quote unquote victory, you know. And that's where it really starts to change things up, I feel.
And I think that Joe was the perfect person to pick for the sutemiwaza recording because, I mean, he's so solid with just his regular ukemi. He's one of the people, I think, who's practiced it for proficiency, but also for finesse. I mean, he looks real good.
Joe's a natural athlete, very acrobatic, one of the few that can do backwards handsprings in our dojo, let alone the other, you know, myriad of jumping around, flipping around stuff. Yeah, and the reason that we went this route is I actually asked most of the students like what they thought of Ukemi and kind of based what we worked on their response. And Joe's description really felt akin to sutemiwaza.
How so?
It was like being able to keep yourself safe even when there's no way to keep yourself safe, basically. And that's like, well, that's like sutemi. It's like when you know you're going to get thrown, you commit to your fall, you know? You commit to your own fall in order to not fall, almost. Or make them fall with you. Make them fall harder.
Going down, I'm taking you with me.
My dad's method of, I know I'm going to lose. Everyone's going to lose. Yeah. Something like that. You know, it's akin to that. You know, and there's entire Ruha kind of based on that. You know, Musashi Ru. That's a very famous school based on that type of technique. The legend is Musashi saw a cat like sitting on a roof and a hawk swooped down to get it, and the cat like just flopped off the roof, landed on its feet. Hawk didn't get a meal. It's like, whoa! And sutemiwaza was born.
Wise kitty cats.
Yes. And in there, it's an interesting thing because the cat didn't throw the hawk.
True.
The cat didn't get eaten and landed on its feet, right? So that's another perspective thing there, right?
He took away the thing that the hawk wanted, which was him being in the right spot.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few ways to interpret it, right? And I think that's a valid one for sure. And then at one point, Joe and I get into the throws where you plant the foot on them. I forget. I knew the judo names for most of these. We do te makra at one point. That actually I don't think is the name judo name for it. But the throw where you plant your foot on him, and then I have him throwing his foot. Oh no, I have him do it pretty hard actually. So the way we train the one where you plant the foot on the hip, usually I train it. You throw the leg between their legs.
Yeah.
And that's the way you learn to throw the momentum and stuff. And then at one point, I do have them plant both feet on the hips because if someone is standing there solid, that's how you have to do it. And initially, that's how I went to throw Joe in the opener, but I had to pull my one leg out because I realized he was going to just go into outer space. So I ended up just throwing him with the one leg, even though the initial jump, I took his balance with both.
You didn't warn him about that, did you?
No. No, I told him at the time. Oh yeah, we've done too many recordings. I can't remember what I've said and haven't said. That's what you. Anyway, but yeah, I told him. I was like, afterwards, I was like, I've never done that throw without telling the person. But you did good. Sound like a video game character, but Joe always does. So that was fun. I was just watching the video a little bit. How some of them, more than anything, I saved myself from being thrown hard, and then I try to show him how you can turn that into a little bit more than that. It's always, what are you working on? And then the biggest thing with here is you could always say, well, you're not doing the throw, blah, 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 blah. And I can tell you this much. Joe has broken my ribs with a makikomi.
Yep.
So you can tell me we're not throwing each other and all this and all that. And honestly, I'm fine with it because I know Joe can throw. And I've thrown enough people outside of them letting me throw them to be comfortable with that. We're working on certain things here and trying to have a good time with it.
I think that of the throws that we're going to be showing today, like this is very much a who's being thrown. Like two people practice throwing at the same time, which is great if you have someone of equal skill level. Because then you can really agree.
You hear that, Joe? That's a pretty big compliment.
Oh, yeah. Well, because he's just so good and you're just so injured.
Oh, Jesus. Isn't that the truth, though?
But it's great because, with the Steve version, you took a turn throwing. Mm-hmm. He took a turn throwing, which meant he took a turn doing Ukemi, and then you took a turn doing Ukemi. In this one...
It's still the case, though.
But you're both getting to practice it within the same technique. You're both taking it at the same time.
I see what you're saying, but at the same time, I always feel that it is on the uke to decide what they're working on. And if they fail to train while being an uke, that's completely their fault.
That is true. True.
Being an uke is where that's where all the training is. And I understand the mindset going into the training and what you're trying to get out of it. So if you're really focused on feeling something, you're going to relax more. Mm-hmm. And you may not be focused on how you're taking the fall because you're more focused on what you're receiving before you fall. And then when you're falling, it's like, aha, and you're trying to hold on to that information, you hit the ground and whatever, and you're safe. So you're not trying to hit the ground, hands up, and that sort of thing.
No, I totally get that. One of the biggest things that shifted in my training was going from gotta fall safe, gotta fall safe, gotta fall safe to I'm going to punch them and pushing the gotta fall safe reflex mind shift until later in the technique because maybe they don't do it correctly. Maybe the Tori messes up, isn't paying attention, something, and I actually get the punch. Well, I wasn't focused on that. I was too worried about coming ahead and taking the Ukemi that I wasn't worried about what I'm doing right now.
Sure. The more you need your mind to do the Ukemi, the more you have to think about it, right?
Yes.
And then in time, your body, when I have to think about my Ukemi, I'm kidding myself. I'm not even kidding. There is, when I have to think about it, it's because I've flipped around and I've lost all bearings and I need to find the ground. But that's also part of the training, for sure. Which actually kind of brings us to what Dion is working on with the Mutadori. I really don't teach the Mutadori as ways to dodge someone swinging a sword at you.
What? That is so applicable to modern life. I cannot tell you how frequently I'm leaving the office and from a bush, a swordsman comes by and Ukemi has saved my life.
Well, there's better techniques. If they're behind a bush, they shouldn't have revealed themselves before cutting. That there are techniques for that. They are terrible swordsmen. So, but I think it's just bringing more context to the Ukemi. There's a stressor, mainly me swinging at them. Mm-hmm. With the Shinai especially because they know I'll hit them and not care.
No
even
mercy.
though I'm going really nice. Dion is also injured. Him and I are kindred spirits. We're both pretty wrecked during the filming of this, to be honest. Similar injuries too. I don't need to get into all of that, but I'm making sure he doesn't injure himself with the Ukemi because that defeats the purpose of it, right?
Right. Yeah, it's supposed to keep you safe, and if you can't keep yourself safe from yourself while being safe from another, what are we even doing?
What are we even doing? And what we are doing is he's trying to control the direction he's rolling, control how he's getting up, which you probably can't really tell. That's the main thing he's working on in most of this.
All off camera unless he's going to the right.
He went to the other side a couple times, but either way, you wouldn't know that without me telling you that that's what he's working on. And then also trying to watch me through the entire technique, and also the timing of it. I told him, wait as long as you can, wait till the last minute. I'm moving slow enough that you can wait till the last minute. Watch me through all of it the best you can. Focus on how you're getting up. That's a lot of
Yeah.
That's a lot of things. The last thing is dodge the Shinai. At no point do I say that, right?
Right.
It's like that's not what you're doing, but all of these skills lend to being able to perform that action. We have Sabaki Kata, and it sort of just ingrains into your movement. So you're not doing Sabaki Kata, you're just moving, and that's the way you move.
It's a really big jump between training in a vacuum all by yourself to suddenly being aware of someone else, to then also being aware and avoiding someone else, to being aware and avoiding but also leading someone else, because you're right, if he just sees you with the Shinai and starts rolling away, you're just gonna walk after him.
Or not even cut. That's my favorite, is when they go early, I just stand there and then they just start laughing because their fear made them move, not me, right? And that's always fun. But you're right. So we use the Mutadori Tainjutsu as... Cell phones turned off. Cell phones turned off. Thank you, ma'am. We use it as the next phase in Ukemi, from training in a vacuum to being able to perform this. The idea is you have to interact with someone while doing your Ukemi. But since I've been doing just the privates, I really focus on this and then focus on them being able to do it in different levels. So at first, they are moving out of the way of the Shinai and rolling. Like, that's how it starts. But then eventually, once they can roll, and they don't have to think about getting out of the way, that's when they're working on the actual techniques. I always say that the lesson isn't the technique is a vessel for a lesson. It's always open to interpretation. At least the way I teach. I'm not saying when someone else is teaching, it's always open to interpretation. But when I teach, it is usually open to interpretation.
Beautifully ambiguous.
Yes. Well, I'll take that as a compliment. It drives some of my students absolutely insane until, at least for the first 6 months. But some get it. Some get it because they know it's so nuanced.
Right.
What they need to get out of it is what they need to get out of it, and I'm not trying to decide what they need to get out of it. Sometimes, I'll push them very hard in a direction, but, Payne's a good teacher for that sort of stuff. Yeah, other than that, I just try to show them the path and let them stumble as much as they need to learn how to walk,
And if they stumble and fall, we got a technique for that. Oh, yeah.
Or in one of these, I show the running forward into a front break fall and how it tends to push you into a roll.
Mm-hmm. When the Ukemi...
Running blind, yeah.
When the Ukemi that you have is the Ukemi that you deserve.
Yeah, seriously.
Not the Ukemi that you wanted.
Yeah, wow. really, though. I mean, that's how I learned. I used to go for runs and do front rolls during my runs. And I'd been training for a significant amount of time, and I was on pavement. And, you know, we used to do this stuff on hills, in the mud, in the snow, on frozen lakes, in gravel. And I jammed my shoulder, and I was like, you know, I'm still not good enough, you know, because I was running in the dark on pavement, and there was, who knows, you know, the pavement may have not been level or whatever, but, and I just consider that all an excuse. I didn't roll correctly for that situation.
Right.
Jammed my shoulder up, and I realized it's like I can't just have a way to roll. I need to be able to roll depending on the situation. I need as many ways to roll as it takes.
Yes.
To be able to roll when I need to do that roll.
You know, and to that point, there's a lot that you can do. Just practice rolling alone. I know that we were saying use Mutadori to help your Ukemi. We use sutemiwaza to help your Ukemi because you're thinking on something else besides the Ukemi.
Well, yeah, we use as much as we can. Sure.
Right, and some of the ways I found to make practicing Ukemi far more fun is adding a but blank though. So
picking up things while rolling.
Yeah, so it's a front roll, but you're picking up things though, or it's a back roll uphill. Is
Very
a fun
difficult.
core workout too.
No, that's awful.
Ew.
I hate rolling uphill. Have you ever tried to cartwheel uphill?
I don't think I have.
Oh my god. Cartwheeling downhill is scary too, by the way.
I can see that.
More fun,
Uh-huh.
but terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
But uphill, it's almost impossible.
Right. Another thing that we had a black belt class once upon a time when actually that could happen. And what I did is I just set up a obstacle course.
Oh, you mean kids class?
No. It was Brendan and Steve. So
Of course it was.
I'd put bean bags in certain areas, or I'd put cones out, and I said, okay, you have to do this roll to here, and then do this roll over to here, and make sure you avoid the bean bags. And they had a really great time.
That is exactly what I would set up for the kids. That's a Mary and Tommy class.
But it tested not only their Ukemi, because they had to do what I was asking, but it was switching between the Ukemi, and they were so focused on the obstacles and so focused on location, just like with Mutadori, they're so focused on the next level,
Yeah.
the Ukemi falls to the back of the mind, and it just happens.
Yeah.
And
Which I guess is the goal, right?
yeah.
But you're doing it in a safe context with stressors that are mental but not dangerous.
I think we actually also use the little ninja duckies,
Ah.
which is a very calming stressor.
Yeah, we used to just throw chopsticks at them. So.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The ducks, not the people.
No, I throw chopsticks at people too.
Oh no.
That's the next phase in the Mutadori. That's why they have to watch me, because I throw things at them while they're rolling and getting up.
Now.
Yeah. But that's probably about it.
Ukemi is fun if you do it correctly and don't injure yourself. I'm so sorry, Sophia. I wish you could have done more martial arts.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you have to be a bit of a masochist to stick with it. Otherwise, you're not doing it right.
Calluses will form.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to have time to edit in anything from the previous takes. So, Ukemi, practice well.
This is how we roll.
Oh. This is how we fall.
With style.
Oh, I meant civilization.
Done.
Done. If you can't fall, you can't be thrown. And it's really that simple. And if you can't be thrown, people can't learn to throw you. So you're useless.